Good morning. Well, it's morning when I'm recording this. I don't know when you're gonna watch it, night or day, whichever it is. Welcome back to my channel. We have another story, and yeah, it's quite it's scary to think this is even a possibility. But maybe people are doing it. People are always saying they are woke. It's a different kind of world that we live in. So maybe this is something that people do nowadays, but I don't see how this is normal. It is weird. It is wrong. And this is me now being self-righteous, but no, this is very wrong. Okay. I haven't read through the story, but by the title in the first few lines already, I've been put off. Okay, so we're gonna get into the story. The title says, "Am I wrong for being pregnant with my son's baby?" I already know what you're thinking. If you are like me, we're thinking the same thing already. We're already judging the lady, but let's just continue and hear what the lady is saying. So, if you are new here, I just want you to know that I'm not gonna read through the whole thing word for word. I just summarize them because I feel like one, it's too long, and two, I'm not the greatest reader out there, so I don't wanna bore people with the ums and the ams all the time. So I'm just gonna summarize the story. So I'm gonna read through it, understand it, and then summarize the story. So that's what I'm gonna do with most of my stories. Okay. But what I will do, I will put up the story as I read it. I will put it up so you can read with me if you feel like it. So yeah, let's get into it. So the lady is saying, let me give you a little bit of background. I am 47, female, and I got married when I was 19 to my high school sweetheart, who was also 19 at the time. Shortly after we got married, he got a very good job as a salesman while I was doing college part-time, taking care of the household. We had planned to have kids in our mid to late 20s because we got married so young. We wanted to enjoy being married, but then that dream was short-lived when I found out that I am pregnant. Okay, cool. We were both shocked because I was on birth control, but it was a welcome surprise. And later on, I gave birth to a bundle of joy, my son, who is now 27 years old. Okay, this is going well so far. So the lady goes on to say that after having her son, she continued with school and the family. Both the mothers-in-law, her mother and the mother-in-law were helping out with the kid so she can focus on school and get that degree, which is great. Family support is always amazing, especially when you have a child and have a career, because you can't always rely on nannies all the time because they also need time out. This is just my opinion, by the way. But then she fell pregnant again when she was 25. This was shortly after graduating, or rather, she found out that she's pregnant, and it turned out to be twin girls. And yes, they didn't want another kid. They were not ready for another kid, especially not two. But then, what were they gonna do? They decided to keep the babies. They were married after all, and she still continued with her career. Nothing really changed as much as it was a lot of work, but she continued with her career and everything was great. And she was working at a very big marketing firm, and yeah, life was very rosy for her and her family. But then she fast forwarded to when she was now a 35-year-old and the son was around 15 years old. She talks about how she and the son basically grew up together, of course, because she was 19, I think. Did you say 19? 19 when she had the babies, the boy, so it's understandable that they basically grew up together, and they were always together at the house. So she says she and the son were very close. She was more close and attached to the son than she was to her girls, because the girls were more like daddy's girls and the boy was a mama's boy to the core. Okay. And now cracks started coming up in the marriage. She started having problems with the husband for the first time since they've been married, and the husband was also now in a managerial position at work, and was working a lot of late hours, going away for work trips and all of those things. But what ultimately ended up happening was that she found out that the husband was cheating on her with 3 babies at home, but he was cheating. Nothing new there. We know men will men will do you dirty, okay? They don't just want to leave. They would rather cheat than leave if they are unhappy. Okay, some women do that too, but we're talking about a man right now, okay? So she continues to say that at 40 she was single and a divorcee with 3 kids, and that was not part of the plan. But she soldiered on, because what was she gonna do? She had 3 babies at home that needed. Okay, they were not babies anymore. They were quite grown. They were teens, but then they were still her babies at the end of the day, and she still had work. But she soldiered on, and then at the finalization of the divorce, she and the son. Okay, that's weird. It seems like the husband was toxic. She's saying that she and the son went out to celebrate her being divorced and welcome this new chapter of her life with grace and all of that fun stuff. Okay. I would assume that if, okay, I guess cheating is kind of toxic. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. Let's just continue. Let me keep my opinion to myself at this point. And then after that, she says, let's move ahead to the present time. She says 2 years ago, her son introduced her to a girl that he was seeing and who would potentially be his future wife. And indeed, she didn't like the girl. The girl was nice and respectful and all of that, but she didn't really like her or approve of her. But she decided not to meddle in kids' business and just let them be. And she just let them be, and then they eventually got married literally 6 months after meeting, but there was nothing she can do about that. Okay, cool. Everything was fine, and then 4 months into the marriage, now the wife went on a motorcycle ride. She had a motorcycle which she, the mother now, and the son didn't want her to ride, because they kept telling her that motorcycles are very dangerous, more dangerous than cars. She must sell it, blah 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 blah. And especially after finding out that she was pregnant. So she instead told them that she wanted to go for a joyride, one last joyride, because she was very early into the pregnancy. There was no tummy showing and all of those things. She did that, and she got into an accident which ultimately landed her in hospital. And to cut the long story short, at the hospital they told her that she was not going to be able to conceive again. She lost the baby that she was pregnant with, one, and she was told that she was not going to be able to conceive. Oh my god, that must have been painful. She wasn't going to be able to conceive. If it happens that she conceived, she was not going to be able to carry the baby to term. Okay, that's what the doctor said. There was some scarring in the uterus and all of those things. Okay, this was painful. I can imagine how painful this was for the lady, especially I'm sure she's blaming herself so much. Women most likely always blame themselves when they lose a baby, but when you lose a baby because of an accident like that, I'm sure the blame on yourself is way too much. And I hope she got support. But according to Anonymous, she didn't get that much support as I would think she would. Both she, Anonymous, and the son were angry at the daughter-in-law for taking that motorcycle ride, which ultimately ended up with her being in hospital and losing their baby. But then she fell pregnant again a few months after that and lost that baby too. And then she fell pregnant for the third time. Oh my god. Sure. She fell pregnant for the third time, but still lost that other baby as well within just a couple of weeks. Now she goes on to say that the son and the wife were staying at home. They've always been staying at home with her because the house was too big and she didn't want to sell it after the divorce. And the son was not dependent on her though. He had a good career and 2 side businesses, but the wife was a stay-at-home, work from home, small business owner, right? Okay. But then after the third miscarriage, the wife could not fall pregnant again, and she advised them that they must get a surrogate to carry the baby so that they can have kids, because she knew how much her son wanted to have kids and the daughter-in-law wanted to have kids. And then in December last year, she continues to say that, or rather early December last year, she continues to say that she and the son had a talk about them having a surrogate, since the son didn't want to adopt any child. He wanted a child of his own. And the son managed to convince the son managed to convince the wife, because her eggs were fine. The only problem was with the uterus. Okay, so they were comfortable with looking for a surrogate to a certain extent, even though it wouldn't be the same as carrying your own child. But the lady agreed that she's gonna have a child. Okay. Oh no. No, ma'am, no. She says that she offered to be their surrogate. It made sense to her because she was the mother of the son. She didn't want a stranger carrying her own grandchild when she was perfectly healthy enough to carry the baby, even though she was older in age, but she was healthy enough to carry her son's baby. So she chose that she wants to carry the baby herself for her son. No, ma'am, no. Especially after something so tragic happening, which I know you were blaming the daughter-in-law. How is she gonna feel seeing you walking around pregnant with your own child, with your son's child, with her child? No, no. But the lady says the son loved the idea, and talked to his wife. The wife was like, nope, not in any kind of hell or heaven, not in any world where your mother is gonna carry our child. There is no way that's gonna happen. I don't care what you say. We're gonna go for a surrogate, someone we don't know. And the son didn't want, and they kept fighting over it throughout the beginning of December all the way through to Christmas. And then the lady, which is, oh my God, oh my God, oh my Lord, oh Jesus, the lady now took the son's wife. She took her own life on New Year's Day this year. I hope you're proud, because what nonsense is this? Like, what were you trying to do in the first place? No, you don't do that. That poor girl probably felt so worthless. But then, because the eggs were already harvested, she, the mother-in-law now, and her son made a joint decision that they gonna use the wife's eggs anyway, because the son wanted another baby and he was not ready for another relationship. So they went through the procedure. She went for IVF. Sorry, she went for IVF, and on the first take, the eggs were on the first insemination, the eggs were successful. Wow. And she fell pregnant. Oh my goodness. She fell pregnant with her son's baby. And she continues to say she is 12 weeks pregnant at the time she's writing this post, with her grandchild, basically. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. And she's very healthy. Okay. So they decided to let the family know what is going on, and they both families cut them off. Oh my God. Now her family and the son's family, which is on the father's side, they cut them off, and her girls also don't want to talk to her because they're saying this thing they're doing is satanic and very weird. Whew. Did he really need a baby that bad though? He's still so young. He could have met someone else and had a baby or more babies. And no, I don't know how I feel about this. She continues to say her girls won't even talk to her, her friends don't want to go out with her or hang out with her, they won't even pick up her calls, and she's lost so many people. The son has also lost so many people, except for one friend who understands and believes that we live in an evolved world, so why not? If they want to do it, okay, there's nothing wrong, because it's not like they are sleeping together, even though the mother now says, even though we sleep on the same bed, we don't do anything. It is just him sleeping with me so that he can feel the babies when they kick. Also, it's babies, that means you're carrying twins. Wow. So he can feel the babies kick in the night and experience the whole thing as he would have with his wife. But you are not his wife, though. You are his mother. You are his mother. Oh man. Oh man, I don't know how I feel about this. In fact, I know how I feel about this, but I don't want to say too much. Okay, I don't want to sound too judgmental. This is not about me. But man, this is so wrong on so many levels. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm just too backwards. I don't know. Maybe this is a thing that people do nowadays, but no, I don't know. But I know someone who once said they would carry their son's baby if there was no other way for the son to have a child but wanted a child. I don't know if the person was joking or if she was serious, but I know someone once said that to me a couple of years back. But anyway, I don't know what this story is about. It is quite weird and quite scary. But then she goes on to say, was I supposed to let my son throw away his wife's eggs or let a stranger carry his baby while I'm perfectly fine? Was I the cause of the wife's suicide, like my family believes? I am now starting to feel guilty because I've lost a lot of people I've known for years, and I doubt I would change anything because I was there for my son while he needed me the most, just like he was there for me when I needed him the most. But those are two different things. Man, it's not like I can abort like everyone wants me to. That's against our beliefs. Ma'am, don't talk about beliefs. Your beliefs are telling you to have a child with your son and sleep with him and let him touch. Okay, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being overly sensitive. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below.